But yeah, man, got a lot of stuff going on. What y'all think about this? This whole Jalen Green and Drea thing. She 38, he 21. I mean, hey, a lot of these young princes, a lot of these young males, they just need guidance, man. They need guidance. They need teaching. There is a makeup that makes a man who he is. And you can identify that that's not just a male, but that he's a boy to man, boys to men. No pun intended, but. And the same token, there are things that make up a young lady that, you know, identifies her as being a girl to a lady, to a woman. And yeah, people go back and forth about this age thing, but it's quite simple. So you got a lot of people out of the gate who are trying to ask, and I'll really ask the question, what is the difference? Are you all going to be outraged by this? When a lot of times it's the fellas talking to the women saying, are you guys outraged by this? Like you're outraged by men. I understand what's happening on both sides. And so when you look at a 38-year-old woman, and we know her, for you don't. But for us who do, we know the backstory, we know the history of this housewife or this basketball wife or girlfriend or whatever. We know some of the paper trail. And then you have this young boy who is still, or a young man now, who's still trying to mature and come into himself. It's easy to say that she's controlling him. This is Babylon's counter or mimic or imitation or antichrist of what God's order is, which is the man covering, being the one answered to. He is the president. She is the vice president. This is the chaos to that. For those that keep asking the question about outrage and what would you think? Well, if you flip it around, and the young woman is 21 and the man is 38, 9 times out of 10, he's in his prime. 9 times out of 10, he's reached his cerebral prime. He's thinking every move. He's probably got businesses. He probably has reached his place where he's making great financial gain. He's reached a knowledgeable place in his cerebral prime where now he's ready to pour into a family, experiences, wisdom that he's learned over the years of his 20s and his 30s. Young lady is ready to have children. This is Babylon's counter or mimic or imitation or antichrist of what God's order is, which is the man covering, being the one answered to. He is the president. She is the vice president. This is the chaos to that. For those that keep asking the question about outrage and what would you think? Well, if you flip it around, and the young woman is 21 and the man is 38, 9 times out of 10, he's in his prime. 9 times out of 10, he's reached his cerebral prime. He's thinking every move. He's probably got businesses. He probably has reached his place where he's making great financial gain. He's reached a knowledgeable place in his cerebral prime where now he's ready to pour into a family, experiences, wisdom that he's learned over the years of his 20s and his 30s. Young lady is ready to have children. And so because that young lady is youthful and vibrant and young and basically, you know, proven to be in a place of her prime where she can carry those children in her womb without having too many problems and too much stress and, you know, too many failures, you know, in that, because she isn't, you know, can be impressionable and she can be teachable and have that teachable spirit. Not a lot of experiences, so she's not jaded a whole lot and she's not tainted a whole lot and she's not coming in and nigga, I ain't no babies running through me, or nigga, I might give you one, or blah blah blah, you know, all this little stuff that mugs do, as if they're really calling the shots in a man's village, in a man's order, in a man's kingdom. A real man standing 10 toes down in his God form is not gonna let you call the shots that way. So I just say for me, brothers, save your outrage. Everybody keep asking, I see people, they post this picture up and the first thing they say is, where's the outrage? Where's the same energy? Y'all had this energy for, anytime a man is as old as Dre is, and the young lady is as young as Jalen, it's an outrage. It's you robbing the cradle. You peddle. Just saying all kind of stupid stuff. When in reality, I continue to tell y'all that men and women age differently. So because they age differently, I say it all the time. A young man graduating high school, 18 years old, you blink and he's 25, that's still too close to high school. He barely was just out of high school at 25. You blink and he was just 18. What does he gain? What does he achieve, really? Unless he's the likes of a Jalen Green, which I believe a lot of y'all lose y'all minds and just y'all become delusional and unrealistic when you see these NBA players and these actors and actresses and stuff like that. And I'm going to just stay with the actors because the man is supposed to lead. The man is supposed to be the one who takes from your father and picks up where your father left off and take care of you and take care of his family. So what am I, looking at it that way, I ask myself, what does Jalen Green really have to offer Drea outside of some young longevity rod? That's really, the most I could call out, because at the end of the day, he not offering Drea no wisdom. He's 21. He ain't bumped his head enough. He ain't went through enough that he can pour into his woman at 38, and he's 21. You flip that around, a woman is at the perfect age. She's at, a woman is always supposed to be in an impressionable position to receive from her husband, her covering, her leader. That's how it's supposed to be. And I thank my man Will Craven, who broke it down, that it's a difference between talking to somebody and actually having sex with them as a woman. You give your cookies to a man, your virginity, whatever. That's one thing. There's something that's left behind. But if you just talk to a person, just dated a person, but it never went sexual, then you just have a memory. But when you mix DNA, when you do a lot of those type of things, spiritually, you are basically marrying the person with your body. There's a lot of things, and God forbid you get pregnant by the person. Now you got that going on. Drea would look like somebody who's controlling the situation and manipulating the situation because she's in a position where she's 38, he's 21. And just like I said a second ago, what does he know? What can he really transfer and pour into her at her age? She's already been through some damage. She's already been through some trauma. She's already had someone's impression on her. He's very young. What is he really pouring into his woman the way that man should pour into his woman? Nothing. You can't convince me that there's anything. It'd be better off if he was 38 and she 38, or 40 and she 38. But in this case, there's nothing that you can, you can't convince me that he's pouring anything into her outside of some nut. That's it. That's about the only thing he pouring into her. So I say save your outrage, because at the end of the day, you don't need to return no energy. You don't need to worry about, where's y'all energy for this? It don't matter. Let these mugs live. I really wish that these NBA players, I hear that they have people waiting for them to be leeches and drain them. And I hear at the same time they also have meetings and different things like that where they can help them, warn them, to beware of this stuff. So some of them listen clearly, some of them don't. You got Zion Wade. I mean, I said Zion Wade. You got, Zion Williamson. You got Jalen Green here. You got a lot of cats, man. They gonna learn the hard way, one way or the other. But at the end of the day, this is a good lesson, a good something to look at and get an understanding of the difference between how young women age versus how young men age. And like I said before, men are at the perfect age to start having children and all that at 38 and 40, because you have went through enough in your 20s, 30s, and now you're going to your 40s. You've learned enough, and you've grasped enough about the world to understand how this government works, how they try to trick you and capitalize off of you, everything down to weddings, all this. I'm gonna leave something for y'all so y'all get an understanding of what I'm saying. It's all set up to capitalize off men, for you to pay taxes. You got everybody receiving money out of your check like they worked side by side with you. That's a problem. And y'all gonna have to catch on and lock into your purpose and build enough of a legacy that by the time you do get to messing with a broad or broads, when you kick them out, or like, Neo originally wrote that song, To the Left, it was supposed to be him saying, a man saying that to a woman, but he ended up giving it to Beyonce. So once she said it to a man, that just opened up feminism. That just opened up another realm in feminism. But Neo really wrote that song, and it was to kick a woman to the left. So think about that. A man should be able to make that adjustment in his life where it should make no dent in his finances. Even if he got married, had a child with a woman, whatever he paying child support, it shouldn't make too much of a dent if he got his own land and he got his own this and he got all his own, and you would just add it to his equation. He was already driving his car and he just opened the door and you entered his life. He just gave you an extra set of keys to this and an extra set of keys to that. That's how it's supposed to work for men. When they do right in their life, they can just add what they want to add here, to the left. When they done with you, you want to act crazy, boom, you don't get that privilege. And so that's what I see when I see this, because at the end of the day, when men put those great years into their lives like they're supposed to, man, they can come out of their late 30s going into their 40s ready to build great lives and have tons of children, and they ain't got to worry about money and people's mouths and all that different stuff. Man, forget all that. But when you're young and you're in a situation where somebody's trying to take advantage of you and all that, they will. You got to understand, adding them to your life is just an extra bill. And they will take as much of advantage as they can of you if you allow it. You get what you deserve in this life because you get what you allow. So you want to be very watchful of that. Meanwhile, a woman can graduate high school and she's in the right place at the right time, because 18 on up to 30, a lot of these 18-year-olds, 15-year-olds got as many partners or many bodies as a woman that's 38. The only difference is age. So you're just children with breasts, overgrown children with titties. So, and with that being said, when they get out of high school, they turn 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, they're in the right age all the way up to 30 to have children and get it out the way, as many as you're going to have, and use your youth and bounce right back. And then, boom, that woman can use her 30s to do something else and grow in a different way with a man, or whatever the case may be. He want more children. Boom, you can add a wife, whatever the case may be. But y'all got to start understanding how this thing works, because a lot of these ladies, they are the ones who want to have their cake and eat it too. They are the ones that have a greedy appetite, and they're trying to watch what the man do what he do, keep up with him, be hypergamous, all this foolishness. Stop it, because we're not even on the same plateau. Especially when a man is on his square, he puts himself at a great advantage. And he has a very advantageous situation. And if you're blessed to be in that courtship of that king, thank God for that. But with this, I say don't worry about it. Don't give it no energy at all. It is what it is. Learn from it. Learn as much as you can.
Profession is I can sell you a wedding dress from my boutique. Then I can host your wedding at our mountainside venue. Then we can extend your stay at our equestrian Airbnb. And then I can sell you a house. And then You can decorate your house with some of my paintings from my gallery. And then when you're sick of your spouse, you could visit my husband and get a divorce. And then we can do it all over again.
I'm up out of here. I ain't gonna play with her. I'm out, baby.
Hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell.